रैंकिंग ऑफिसर हैं। एक तरफ है रूल्स की मोटी किताब और दूसरी तरफ एक जरूरतमंद फैमिली जिनकी जिंदगी आपके एक डिसीजन पर टिकी है। व्हाट डू यू डू? टफ है ना?
बहुत ज्यादा।
आज हम ऐसी ही रियल वर्ल्ड एथिकल डायलेमास को अनपैक करेंगे दोस्तों। गेट रेडी फॉर अ सुपर सुपर एनर्जेटिक सेशन।
आई एम रेडी।
और हाँ, इससे पहले कि हम इस ज्ञान के समुद्र में गोते लगाएं, मेक श्योर यू हिट दैट सब्सक्राइब बटन, रिंग द नोटिफिकेशन बेल और लाइक तो बनता है। चलो लेट्स बिल्ड दिस अमेजिंग कम्युनिटी टुगेदर।
बिल्कुल। वेलकम एवरीवन। आज हम 3 इनक्रेडिबल केस स्टडीज पर एक सुपर डिटेल मतलब एकदम गहरी चर्चा करने वाले हैं। सो हियर्स आवर लर्निंग मैप फॉर टुडे।
ओके, ले इट आउट फॉर अस।
फर्स्ट, फ्रॉम 2022 हम मिलेंगे राकेश से, अ जॉइंट कमिश्नर इन द ट्रांसपोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट, जो एक ड्राइवर की ऑन ड्यूटी डेथ के काफी कॉम्प्लेक्स केस में फंसा हुआ है। सेकंड, फ्रॉम 2020 हम सुनेंगे अनिल और उसकी कंपनी एपीडब्ल्यू की कहानी, जो एक बैकवर्ड एरिया को डेवलप करती है बट विद अ मेजर एथिकल ट्विस्ट।
ओह, आई लाइक अ गुड ट्विस्ट।
एंड थर्ड, फ्रॉम 2019 हम समझेंगे पॉलिटिसाइजेशन ऑफ ब्यूरोक्रेसी का कॉन्सेप्ट, यानी जब पॉलिटिक्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन पर हावी होने लगती है तो उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस क्या होते हैं। तो चलिए इस इंटरेस्टिंग सफर पर निकलते हैं।
ओके, लेट्स अनपैक दिस। पहली केस स्टडी साल 2022 से। चलो पूरा कॉन्टेक्स्ट सेट करते हैं फॉर आवर लिसनर्स।
लेट्स डू इट।
The question is about Rakesh, a joint commissioner in the transport department. He's in a deadlock situation. एक बस ड्राइवर की ऑन ड्यूटी मौत हो गई है झगड़े के बाद, and the workers union is on strike demanding compensation and a job for the family.
राइट।
But here's the catch. A police report says कि गलती ड्राइवर की थी. So the question for us is, राकेश के पास क्या ऑप्शंस हैं? उनका क्रिटिकल एग्जामिनेशन, उसके एथिकल डिलेमास क्या हैं, और वो इस सिचुएशन को आखिर डिफ्यूज कैसे करेगा? This is our challenge.
और इस केस का ब्रॉड माइक्रो थीम है
Okay?
कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बिटवीन ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल पॉलिसी एंड सोशल जस्टिस।
राइट ये केस ड्यूटी वर्सेस मोरालिटी की क्लासिक फाइट है। एक तरफ राकेश की ड्यूटी है टुवर्ड्स हिज डिपार्टमेंट्स रूल्स और दूसरी तरफ एक ह्यूमन लाइफ का सवाल है। तो इस कॉम्प्लेक्स सिचुएशन को आखिर सॉल्व कैसे करें?
द फर्स्ट स्टेप इन एनी केस स्टडी, एंड दिस इज सुपर इंपॉर्टेंट, इज टू आइडेंटिफाई द स्टेक होल्डर्स। हमें यह समझना जरूरी है कि इस स्टोरी में एक्टर्स कौन कौन हैं और उनके इंटरेस्ट्स क्या हैं।
मेक्स सेंस। हु आर द प्लेयर्स हियर?
सो वी हैव द डिसीज्ड ड्राइवर्स फैमिली, जिनको ऑब्वियसली जस्टिस और फाइनेंशियल सिक्योरिटी चाहिए। फिर है द सिटी ट्रांसपोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट का मैनेजमेंट और यूनियन,
जिनकी इंटरेस्ट्स ऑपोजिट है।
एग्जैक्टली। मैनेजमेंट को रूल्स फॉलो करने हैं, यूनियन को वर्कर्स के राइट्स प्रोटेक्ट करने हैं। फिर राकेश खुद एक स्टेक होल्डर है एज द डिसीजन मेकर। फिर है द इंजर्ड कार ड्राइवर, आम पब्लिक जो स्ट्राइक से परेशान है, एंड फाइनली द गवर्नमेंट जिसे लॉ एंड ऑर्डर मेंटेन करना है। सबके इंटरेस्ट क्लैश कर रहे हैं।
That's a lot of conflicting interests. So let's get into the first part of the question. What are the options available to Rakesh?
Let's break them down one by one. Option 1 is to uphold the department's decision.
The by the book approach.
Precisely. इस अप्रोच में राकेश स्ट्रिक्टली पॉलिसी फॉलो करेगा। पुलिस रिपोर्ट कहती है ड्राइवर की गलती थी, सो नो एक्स्ट्रा कॉम्पेंसेशन। सिंपल, क्लीन, स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड। इसे हम कहते हैं अ डियोंटोलॉजिकल अप्रोच, वेयर ड्यूटी एंड रूल्स आर सुप्रीम।
Rules are rules, no exceptions. लेकिन ये थोड़ा, I don't know, harsh नहीं लगता? It seems to lack empathy completely. What's the alternative?
Well, the alternative is option 2, negotiate a compromise. यहाँ राकेश बीच का रास्ता निकालने की कोशिश करेगा।
अच्छा।
हो सकता है वो पार्शियल कॉम्पेंसेशन ऑफर करे या ड्राइवर के बच्चों की पढ़ाई के लिए एक स्कॉलरशिप अरेंज कर दे। कुछ ना से कुछ भला। दिस इज अ मोर यूटिलिटेरियन अप्रोच, जिसमें मैक्सिमम लोगों का मैक्सिमम फायदा सोचा जाता है। स्ट्राइक खत्म होगी, फैमिली को थोड़ी हेल्प मिलेगी।
So एक तरफ है all or nothing और दूसरी तरफ है something is better than nothing. Interesting contrast. What else can you do?
ऑप्शन 3 इज टू रेकमेंड रिव्यू। इसमें राकेश मैनेजमेंट को बोलेगा, गाइज एक बार फिर से सोचो। ही कैन आर्ग्यू कि ड्राइवर की लॉन्ग सर्विस, उसकी फैमिली की फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन, इन सब फैक्टर्स को कंसिडर करना चाहिए। ये अप्रोच जस्टिस और फेयरनेस की वैल्यूज को हाईलाइट करता है।
So he's not making the decision himself, but he's influencing the decision makers to be more compassionate. That's a smart move.
It is. Then there's option 4, mediate between management and union. यहाँ राकेश एक फैसिलिटेटर का रोल प्ले करेगा। एक अच्छे लीडर की तरह वो दोनों पार्टीज को नेगोशिएशन टेबल पर लाएगा और एक म्यूचुअली एक्सेप्टेबल सॉल्यूशन निकालने में हेल्प करेगा। दिस फोकसेस ऑन द कॉमन गुड अप्रोच। सबका भला सोचो।
I like that one. It's proactive. और आखिरी ऑप्शन क्या हो सकता है?
द फाइनल वन, ऑप्शन 5, इनिशिएट एन इंडिपेंडेंट इंक्वायरी। अगर राकेश को लगता है कि पुलिस रिपोर्ट में कुछ गड़बड़ हो सकती है या पूरा सच सामने नहीं आया है, तो वो एक इंडिपेंडेंट कमिटी बना सकता है।
Oh wow.
ये कमिटी पूरे मामले की निष्पक्ष जांच करेगी। दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी। दिस इज अ राइट्स अप्रोच, ensuring that everyone's rights are protected through a fair and transparent process.
Wow. So he has 5 very distinct paths he can take. अब आते हैं सबसे critical part पर. Let's critically examine each of these options. Option 1, the rules are rules path. इसके pros and cons क्या हैं?
देखो, the pro of upholding the department's decision is that it maintains organizational discipline. It sets a clear precedent कि rules को bypass नहीं किया जा सकता. It's strong leadership in a way.
Okay, that makes sense. Discipline is important.
But the con is huge. इसमें empathy या जिसे हम ethics of care कहते हैं, वो बिल्कुल नहीं है. इससे वर्कर्स यूनियन और भड़क सकती है, स्ट्राइक लंबी चल सकती है और आम पब्लिक का ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम पर से विश्वास उठ सकता है. It solves the immediate problem on paper, but creates a bigger social problem.
Right. So it's technically correct, but humanly wrong. I get that. What about option 2, the compromise? ये तो काफी बैलेंस लग रहा है.
The compromise option is good because it shows flexibility. It shows that the administration is not a machine. It can de-escalate the situation quickly.
That's a big plus.
लेकिन इसका कौन ये है कि ये एक ad hoc solution है, एक temporary fix. इससे फ्यूचर में हर कोई ऐसी डिमांड्स करने लगेगा. प्लस क्या पार्शियल कॉम्पेंसेशन से फैमिली की जरूरत पूरी होगी और क्या यूनियन इसे मान जाएगा? It might be seen as a half-hearted attempt.
I see. So it might just be a temporary fix, a band-aid on a bigger wound. Let's talk about recommending a review. Option 3.
इसका प्रो ये है कि ये जस्टिस और फेयरनेस की वैल्यूज को अपहोल्ड करता है. It shows that the department is not rigid, it's willing to reconsider. That builds trust. पर इसका सबसे बड़ा कौन है? टाइम. रिव्यू प्रोसेस में टाइम लगेगा और तब तक स्ट्राइक चलती रहेगी, causing massive inconvenience to the public. The city could come to a standstill.
Right. Time is a luxury he doesn't have. And what about mediation? Option 4. That sounds like the most democratic approach.
बिल्कुल. मीडिएशन का प्रो यह है कि ये कॉमन गुड अप्रोच है, सबका भला सोचो. It empowers both parties to come to a solution together. लेकिन इसकी सक्सेस इस बात पर डिपेंड करती है कि दोनों पार्टीज कॉम्प्रोमाइज करने को तैयार हैं या नहीं.
Ah, there's the catch. Strategy. And finally, the independent inquiry. Option 5.
The biggest pro is that it's the fairest process. It's transparent, it follows the principles of natural justice. Lekin, again, the con is that it is very time consuming. It will prolong the strike and might even uncover uncomfortable truths that could damage the department's reputation.
So राकेश के लिए हर option एक double-edged sword है.
This is incredibly complex. Chalo, let's get into some cross questions to really cement this for our listeners.
Question 1. How should a student structure the answer for these 5 options to get maximum marks?
Excellent question. For maximum impact, हर option को एक अलग subheading बनाएं. For each option, write 2 bullet points for merits and 2 for demerits. But here's the key. सबसे important. हर option के साथ उससे जुड़ी ethical theory का नाम जरूर mention करें. जैसे कि deontology for option 1 और utilitarianism for option 2. This shows a deeper analytical understanding, not just rote learning.
Great tip. Question 2. In your opinion, which is more important for a civil servant? Following the rules or showing humanity? ये तो इस केस का core conflict है.
The truth is, good governance lies in balancing both. Neither can be ignored. An officer can't be just a robot who follows rules, nor can be a social worker who ignores policy. Rules लोगों के लिए हैं, लोग rules के लिए नहीं. An officer must be what is called a compassionate rule follower. The rules provide the structure, and compassion provides the soul of administration.
Beautifully put. I love that. Compassionate rule follower. Question 3. अगर आप राकेश होते तो सबसे पहले किससे बात करते? मैनेजमेंट से या यूनियन से? And why?
I would start with the union immediately, no delay. उनसे बात करके ये मैसेज जाएगा कि उनकी grievances को सीरियसली सुना जा रहा है. This can be a crucial first step to de-escalate the strike and build some goodwill. मैनेजमेंट से बाद में बात हो सकती है, पहले आग बुझाना जरूरी है.
Makes total sense. Calm the storm first. Question 4. Could you give one more simple, real-life example to explain the difference between deontological and utilitarian approaches?
Of course. Imagine a doctor has 5 patients who desperately need organ transplants to survive. And one healthy patient walks in for a routine checkup, whose organs are a perfect match for all 5.
Okay.
A purely utilitarian approach might say, sacrifice the one healthy person to save 5 lives, the greatest good for the greatest number. But a deontological approach would say, no, you cannot kill an innocent person because the act of killing is inherently wrong, regardless of the outcome. This shows the clear conflict, duty versus consequences.
Wow. That's a chilling but very, very clear example. Last question for this section. In this specific case, what is the true meaning of public welfare? Strike खत्म करना या एक strong precedent set करना?
ये शॉर्ट टर्म वर्सेस लॉन्ग टर्म का क्लासिक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है. शॉर्ट टर्म में पब्लिक वेलफेयर है स्ट्राइक खत्म करना ताकि लोगों को ट्रांसपोर्ट सर्विसेज मिले, लेकिन लॉन्ग टर्म में पब्लिक वेलफेयर है एक फेयर एंड जस्ट पॉलिसी बनाना ताकि ऐसी सिचुएशंस दोबारा ना हो और सिस्टम में सबका ट्रस्ट बना रहे. अ गुड ऑफिसर हैज टू थिंक अबाउट बोथ टाइमलाइंस.
एकदम clear है. Let's move to the next part. What are the specific ethical dilemmas Rakesh is facing here?
Rakesh is caught in a web of dilemmas. It's like a mental tug of war. First is duty versus morality. एक तरफ डिपार्टमेंट के रूल्स हैं जो उसे फॉलो करने हैं, his duty. दूसरी तरफ एक गरीब परिवार की मदद करने की उसकी इनर मॉरल फीलिंग है.
The head versus the heart.
Exactly. Second is public welfare versus private grief. स्ट्राइक से लाखों लोग परेशान हैं, which is a massive public issue. लेकिन एक फैमिली का पर्सनल दुख भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. किसे प्रायोरिटाइज करें? थर्ड इज जस्टिस वर्सेस मर्सी. पुलिस रिपोर्ट के हिसाब से न्याय करना है और ड्राइवर की फैमिली पर दया दिखानी है. एंड फोर्थ इज शॉर्ट टर्म वर्सेस लॉन्ग टर्म कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस. क्या अभी कॉम्प्रोमाइज करके स्ट्राइक खत्म कर दें या एक ऐसा प्रेसिडेंट सेट करें जो फ्यूचर में डिपार्टमेंट के लिए सही हो? हर डिसीजन का एक डोमिनो इफेक्ट होगा.
तो आखिर में राकेश को करना क्या चाहिए? What's the final game plan? Let's discuss the most effective course of action.
A good course of action should be multi-pronged. It can't be a single step. It should have immediate, short-term, and long-term components.
Okay, break it down for us.
Immediate action. Rakesh should immediately start mediation between the management and the union, as we discussed. Dialogue is key. He should appeal to the union to call off the strike while talks are ongoing, citing public inconvenience.
Good start.
Short-term measures. While the talks are on, Rakesh should arrange for interim financial help for the driver's family from a compassionate fund or a departmental benevolent fund. ये ethics of care दिखाएगा और union पर positive pressure बनाएगा. It's a goodwill gesture.
Right. And for the long term?
Long-term solutions. He needs to propose a committee to formulate a clear written policy for such ambiguous cases in the future. Additionally, he should organize mandatory sensitivity and conflict resolution training for all drivers. The goal is prevention, ताकि आगे से ऐसा हो ही ना.
That's proactive.
This course of action seems very comprehensive and balanced. It addresses the immediate crisis while also thinking about the future health of the system. Okay, everyone, here comes the practice cue. Now pause and practice saying Rakesh's 4-step course of action. Immediate mediation, short-term financial help, long-term policy creation, and systemic grievance redressal. Rehearse that. Practice saying it.
Perfect. So इसका mini recap क्या है?
Go for it.
In short, ये क्या सिखाता है कि एक ऑफिसर को रूल्स, एम्पैथी और लॉन्ग टर्म विजन इन तीनों को बैलेंस करके चलना पड़ता है. इट्स अ टफ बैलेंसिंग एक्ट, बट दैट इज द एसेंस ऑफ पब्लिक सर्विस.
Absolutely brilliant. तो हमने देखा कि कैसे एक इंडिविजुअल ऑफिसर को सिस्टम और ह्यूमैनिटी के बीच में बैलेंस बनाना पड़ता है. But what happens when an entire organization faces a similar ethical test?
Yes.
That brings us to our next case study from 2020.
The story of Amriya Plastic Works, or APW.
Right. So the question is, an industrialist, Anil, sets up a factory called Amriya Plastic Works, APW, in a backward district, Parmal. He does amazing things. He trains local people and gives them jobs. He helps in village development and uses CSR funds to build schools and hospitals. Subawal as well.
Sounds perfect so far.
But then one day, a fire breaks out in the factory. और investigation में पता चलता है कि factory was using more electricity than its authorized capacity. So the questions for us are, critically analyze APW's story, identify the ethical issues, and decide, is APW a role model for development in backward areas?
क्या अच्छा काम करने के लिए थोड़े गलत तरीके अपनाना acceptable है? Let's dive in. The stakeholders here are Anil, the owner, APW's employees, the people of Noora village, the local MLA, the government, and of course, the environment.
Okay, let's analyze the ethical issues in a chronological way. सबसे पहले अनिल ने locals को train किया.
Yeah.
That's a great start, right?
Absolutely. The initial act of training locals is a prime example of virtue ethics. It shows good character and a genuine intention to empower the community, not just exploit their cheap labor. He also exclusively hired locals, which aligns with the stakeholder theory. A business should create value for all stakeholders, not just its shareholders. ये utilitarianism भी है, generating maximum happiness for the village.
And then came the CSR initiatives, schools, hospitals, self-help groups.
Yes, this is a textbook example of excellent corporate social responsibility. He is going beyond his business and contributing to the social fabric of the community. So far, Anil looks like a hero, an absolute champion of the people.
और फिर आता है twist, the fire incident, the use of extra electricity.
And this is where the ethical conflict begins. Using more electricity than authorized means he was cutting corners on safety and regulations, likely to increase production and profit. यहाँ पर means versus ends का conflict सीधा-सीधा दिख रहा है. His end of developing the village was noble, but his means of flouting safety rules was unethical and extremely dangerous.
But then he did something remarkable during the lockdown. That has to count for something.
It does. His response to the lockdown was exemplary. He didn't fire anyone. Instead, he paid them to plant trees. This is a beautiful example of ethics of care and deep social responsibility. So Anil is a mixed bag. He is a visionary, but he's also a risk-taker who bent the rules. He's a complex character.
This brings us to the main question then. Is APW a role model? इसके pros and cons क्या हैं?
Mostly, yes. APW is a positive example. It's a great model for holistic development, showing that industry and community can grow together. The reasons are clear.
Okay.
First, holistic development. APW didn't just focus on profit. It invested in social and environmental well-being. Second, community engagement. It genuinely improved the lives of the villagers. Third, employee welfare. Training, fair wages, and especially the lockdown support were exceptional. And fourth, environmental responsibility. The tree plantation drive was a great initiative.
लेकिन I feel a but coming.
And it's a big but. Role model बनने के लिए safety, ethics, and adherence to the law must be 100% non-negotiable. वो fire incident, which resulted from an illegal act, is a major red flag. It shows a willingness to compromise on human safety for profit. We cannot ignore that. A role model cannot have such a critical flaw.
That's a very fair assessment. Let's do some cross-questioning to dig deeper into this. Question 1. Do you think the fire incident was an honest mistake by Anil or a calculated risk?
The case study suggests it was a calculated risk to boost production. Unauthorized use of electricity isn't usually an accident, it's a conscious decision. So, from an ethical standpoint, it was an intentional breach of rules, which is very serious. It wasn't ignorance, it was a choice.
Question 2. What is the true meaning of CSR? Is it just about donating money and doing charity, or is it about making the business process itself ethical?
That's the core of the issue. True CSR is both. Philanthropy and donations are good, but they cannot be a cover for an unethical core business process. You cannot justify polluting a river by building a hospital on its bank. The how of doing business is just as important as the what you do with your profits.
I love that. The how is as important as the what. Question 3, a fun one. If you were a journalist writing an article on APW, what would your headline be?
That's a good one. I'd probably go with something that captures the dilemma, like APW, a beacon of hope with a dangerous spark. Or maybe the angel of Noah. Can good deeds wash away a sin? It immediately tells the reader about the central conflict of the story.
Haha, those are great. Question 4. For our listeners who might be new to this, can you explain stakeholder versus shareholder in very simple words?
Sure. A shareholder is a person who owns a share of the company. मतलब जिसका पैसा लगा है. But a stakeholder is any person who is affected by the company's actions. This includes employees, customers, suppliers, the local community, and even the environment. A good company thinks about all its stakeholders, not just its shareholders.
Perfect explanation. And last question. How should a student structure the answer to, is APPI a role model?
The best structure would be a balanced analysis. Start by detailing all of APPI's positive contributions in one section, calling it APPI as a model for inclusive growth. Then, create a separate section titled The Ethical Red Flag, the Fire Incident, and analyze the negative aspect. Finally, write a balanced conclusion stating that APPI is an almost perfect role model, but its full potential is unrealized due to its ethical lapse in safety compliance. Don't give a simple yes or no.
Fantastic advice. Okay, practice time everyone. Pause the audio and try saying this sentence. APPI is a good model for stakeholder-centric development, but the fire incident reveals a lack of deontological discipline, prioritizing utilitarian outcomes over procedural ethics. Thoda technical hai, but practice saying it.
So the mini recap for this case is,
Let's have it.
in short, APW teaches us that what to do, the goal, is important, but how to do it, the process, is equally if not more ethically significant. The means are just as important as the ends.
Exactly. So we've gone from an individual's dilemma to an organization's ethical conflict. Ab chalo, let's zoom out even further to the entire system. Our final case study from 2019 is a bit theoretical, but super important.
This one is about the politicization of bureaucracy, a very serious topic.
Yes. The question is, in a democratic system, there are two types of executives. The political executive, ministers, and the permanent executive, bureaucrats. Ministers make policies, and bureaucrats execute them. But recently, a trend has been observed where the political executive interferes in the work of bureaucrats, for example, in transfers and postings. What are the consequences of this politicization of bureaucracy? Discuss.
And the broad micro theme for this is
Go on.
erosion of the steel frame of governance. ये एक बहुत सीरियस इशू है. सोचो, अगर एक क्रिकेट मैच में अंपायर ही एक टीम की साइड लेने लगे तो क्या वो गेम फेयर रहेगा? कभी नहीं. यहाँ ब्यूरोक्रेसी इज द अंपायर एंड पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आर द टीम्स. द स्टेक होल्डर्स आर द पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव, द परमानेंट एग्जीक्यूटिव, आम नागरिक, द जुडिशरी एंड द मीडिया.
That's a powerful analogy. So what are the direct consequences of this politicization? Let's break them down.
The consequences create a domino effect, a chain reaction of decay. Consequence number 1 is the erosion of impartiality and objectivity. This is the first and most fundamental loss. Officers निष्पक्ष यानी न्यूट्रल नहीं रह पाते. वो decisions public के भले के लिए नहीं, बल्कि political agenda के हिसाब से लेते हैं. And this shatters public trust from the very beginning.
So the umpire is no longer neutral. What does that lead to?
It leads to consequence number 2, weakening of the rule of law. जब ट्रांसफर्स, पोस्टिंग्स और प्रमोशंस पॉलिटिकल लॉयल्टी पर होने लगे तो कानून का राज कमजोर हो जाता है. Decisions are based on favoritism, not on fairness or merit. Justice becomes a casualty. The rule book is thrown out the window.
So the rules of the game no longer matter, only who the umpire likes. What's next in this chain reaction of decay?
Consequence number 3, decline in administrative efficiency. अगर एक केपेबल और ऑनेस्ट ऑफिसर का बार बार ट्रांसफर होता है क्योंकि वो पॉलिटिकल बॉस की गलत बात नहीं मान रहा तो वो कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट ठीक से कंप्लीट नहीं कर पाएगा. लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग और पॉलिसी इंप्लीमेंटेशन फेल हो जाती है. द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बिकम्स स्लो, इनएफिशिएंट एंड पैरालाइज्ड.
And I'm guessing this inefficiency and favoritism would lead to?
Corruption. Exactly. That's consequence number 4, rise of corruption and patronage. एक करप्ट इकोसिस्टम बन जाता है. जो ऑफिसर पॉलिटिकल बॉस की बात मानेगा उसे अच्छी पोस्टिंग मिलेगी, चाहे वो करप्ट ही क्यों ना हो. मेरिट की जगह लॉयल्टी इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती है. This patronage system breeds corruption at all levels of the government.
This sounds terrible. What about the honest officers in the system? उनका क्या होता है? They must feel helpless.
They do. That brings us to consequence number 5, demoralization of honest bureaucrats. जो ईमानदार और एफिशिएंट ऑफिसर्स हैं उन्हें या तो साइडलाइन कर दिया जाता है या पनिशमेंट पोस्टिंग्स दी जाती हैं. उनका मोरल डाउन होता है और धीरे धीरे सिस्टम से अच्छे लोग या तो बाहर हो जाते हैं या काम करना बंद कर देते हैं. The system loses its best minds and its conscience.
And the final ultimate consequence of all this, the last domino to fall.
The ultimate and most dangerous consequence is number 6, loss of public trust. जब पब्लिक ये सब देखती है, the partiality, the corruption, the inefficiency, तो उनका पूरे गवर्नमेंट सिस्टम से विश्वास उठ जाता है. They feel helpless and disconnected. This erosion of public trust is extremely dangerous for the health of any democracy.
This chain reaction is genuinely frightening. Let's get into our cross questions to understand it better. Question 1. Bureaucracy को steel frame of India क्यों कहा जाता है? What does that metaphor actually mean?
It was a term used by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. He called it the steel frame क्योंकि ये देश के एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को एक strong, stable और impartial structure provide करती है, which is supposed to remain intact even when governments change. It's the backbone of governance that holds the country together. Politicization is like rust that corrodes this very steel frame.
Great context. Question 2. Is it ever okay for bureaucrats to take political guidance or should they be 100% independent? कहाँ तक a balance ठीक है?
That's a very nuanced question. Guidance is necessary, but interference is wrong. Political executives are elected representatives, so they provide the policy direction, the what to do. But the how to do it should be left to the bureaucrats based on rules and objectivity. एक healthy balance चाहिए जहां policy direction politics से आए, but implementation is completely neutral.
So, a partnership, not a master-servant relationship. I get it. Question 3. How can an honest officer handle this kind of political pressure? What tools do they have?
Politely but firmly state the rules and regulations. They can insist on receiving all orders in writing. This creates a paper trail and often deters politicians from giving illegal orders. And if the pressure is too much, they can approach higher authorities or administrative tribunals. Documentation is their most powerful weapon.
That's very practical advice. Question 4. You mentioned public trust. Can you briefly explain the public trust doctrine for our listeners?
Of course, the public trust doctrine is a fundamental principle that says the government holds public resources like rivers, forests, and public office itself in trust for the people. The government is a trustee, not an owner. It has to manage these resources for the benefit of the public, not for its own private gain. Politicization is a direct violation of this sacred trust.
Fantastic explanation. And the final question for structuring the answer. How can a student link all these 6 consequences to create a powerful flowing answer?
The best way is to present it as a chain reaction, just like we discussed. Start with the erosion of impartiality. Explain how that weakens the rule of law. Show how a weak rule of law leads to a decline in efficiency and a rise in corruption. Then connect this to the demoralization of honest officers and conclude with the ultimate outcome, the complete erosion of public trust. एक domino effect की तरह present करें, where one failure logically leads to the next.
Brilliant. Okay, team, last practice cue for the day. चलिए, सब लोग इस chain को दोहराएं. Politicization leads to lack of impartiality, which weakens the rule of law, reduces efficiency, increases corruption, demoralizes honest officers, and finally erodes public trust. Rehearse it to remember the flow.
Perfect. And the mini recap for this final case is,
Let's wrap it up.
in a nutshell, the politicization of bureaucracy is like a slow poison that weakens the very foundation of good governance, turning the steel frame into a hollow, rusty structure.
Wow, what a deep and insightful discussion. तो आज हमने 3 बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एथिकल डायमेंशंस को समझा.
बिल्कुल. चलिए एक फाइनल रिकैप करते हैं to tie everything together for our listeners.
Let's do it.
First, राकेश के केस से हमने देखा कि a public servant is constantly on a tightrope, balancing the cold logic of rules with the warm compassion of humanity. The challenge is not to choose one, but to integrate both. Second, APW की स्टोरी से हमने सीखा कि अच्छे रिजल्ट्स पाने के लिए the process must also be good. The ends do not always justify the means. How you achieve success matters just as much as what you achieve.
Very true.
And third, the politicization topic से हमने जाना कि एक impartial and honest bureaucracy is the bedrock of any healthy democracy. Protecting this steel frame from political rust is everyone's responsibility.
बिल्कुल सही. ये सिर्फ एग्जाम के लिए नहीं. These are lessons for life. हर दिन हम सब छोटे-छोटे ethical choices लेते हैं. और listeners के लिए एक आखिरी सवाल छोड़ जाते हैं. आपकी लाइफ में, स्कूल में या दोस्तों के साथ कभी ऐसी सिचुएशन आई है जहां आपको रूल्स और द राइट थिंग टू डू के बीच चूज करना पड़ा? आपने क्या किया? सोचना इस बारे में.
अगर ये डिस्कशन आपको पसंद आया and you found it valuable, then please show your support. Like, comment and share it with your friends. और हाँ, सब्सक्राइब करना बिल्कुल मत भूलना ताकि आप ऐसी कोई भी इंसाइटफुल चर्चा मिस ना करें. हम जल्दी मिलेंगे एक और गहरी चर्चा के साथ. तब तक, keep learning and keep thinking.